Good morning, everyone. This is Angelique Robinson, Medical Education Campus Registrar speaking, and on behalf of the Student Services Enrollment Services team, I'd like to congratulate you on your acceptance into your medical program of study. You have already completed several prerequisites to get to this point on your educational journey, but I'd like to explain a few important areas that you'll need to pay attention to during your time here at the Medical Education Campus. As you can see here, we're going to cover several topics that you're going to need to be familiar with in order to successfully complete your certificate or degree at NOVA. One of the most important areas that we're going to review is the Student Advisement Report, or SAR for short. The SAR is arguably the most important document that you'll need to become acquainted with so that you can track your progress towards graduation. We're also going to cover how to access online forms, as well as other important aspects of the NOVA website that you're likely going to need in due time. You're going to want to take notes during this presentation because although this information may not seem important today, it is going to become more important as each semester passes. Think of this as an exam that you're preparing to pass in 2 years' time, making sure that you keep this information in a place that is readily accessible as necessary. Before we go further, I'd like to get you a little bit better acquainted with the Enrollment Services team. Ms. Williams, Ms. Martinez, Ms. Liu, and I are housed in the Student Services Center under Dr. Beatrice McKeithen. We likely had a hand in helping you apply to NOVA, getting you ready to register for classes, and/or getting your transcripts sent forward to the College Records Office for evaluation. Though that is certainly not an all-encompassing list of what we do, just keep in mind that we are all here to help you get started at the MEC, as well as provide registration and student record update support as needed. Some of our names may already be familiar to you, especially since we placed you into your certificate or degree program for the upcoming semester. You should have received a MyNOVA email from one of the four of us soon after you were placed into your program of study, which asked you to review your SAR to verify the information on your record for accuracy. If you haven't received an email just yet, don't be alarmed. It's just that we are either in the process of getting you placed into the program, or we haven't received the finalized list of accepted students from your academic department just yet. With that said, let's get started with today's overview. Oftentimes, students need loan deferments and various forms of enrollment verification letters, but don't know where to go for help. Well, look no further. Enrollment Services is here to help you out. We just need your written permission to release your information in accordance with the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. If you have paperwork that needs to be completed and either sent back to you or sent out on your behalf, please be sure to attach the forms to the request. If you leave any area of the enrollment verification request form empty, it may lead to a delay in processing, so please fill out as much information as possible. I'd also like to call your attention to the 10 business day processing time frame that is needed to process requests, as we need time to access records and accurately process all incoming documentation. You'll want to plan ahead for healthcare and scholarship requests as well, again keeping the 10 business day processing time frame in mind. We prefer to receive your requests in person, however you're free to submit your requests by fax, email, or regular mail as well. You can either obtain the form in the Student Services Center or by searching the term Enrollment Verification Request on the NOVA site. Did you go through a recent name change? Or maybe make a social security or birth date mistake on your NOVA application? If so, the change of name or social security number form is what you'll need to submit in order to authorize an update to your student record. You'll just need to complete the top of the form and provide your signature, as well as official documentation, so that Enrollment Services staff can make a copy for your student record. As a word of advice, I would suggest that you submit your request as soon as you're aware of the necessary update so that your financial aid isn't adversely affected. It is also a good idea to update your name information before submitting your application for graduation, which we'll cover in a few minutes. Again, you'll want to allow 10 business days for processing student record updates as well, as I'm the only one able to complete the steps necessary to update personal information for the Medical Education Campus. You can pick up the form in the Student Services Center as well, or obtain it online by searching the term name change. If you attended NOVA in the past and didn't do so well the first time around, there may be an opportunity for you to improve your GPA. Academic renewal is an option available to students who earned D's and F's in previous semesters, provided that there is at least 60 months of separation from the last NOVA class attended and have completed at least 12 credits worth of classes with a GPA of at least 2.5 upon return to NOVA. Fortunately, the 12 credits don't have to be completed in the same semester in order to apply for academic renewal. However, those who have already completed a certificate or degree from NOVA are ineligible for the benefit. 10 business days are also needed to process requests for academic renewal, and the request form can either be obtained in the Student Services Center or by searching key term academic renewal on the NOVA site. Once the request has been reviewed, an email detailing the outcome of your request will be sent from me to your MyNOVA email account. Now that we've covered a few of the enrollment services related forms that you'll probably need at one point or another, I'd like to talk a bit about essentials needed to avoid registration and information update issues. You may or may not have heard that you need to set your user preferences each semester that you're at NOVA. If you haven't done so before, you'll want to log into MyNOVA and go to your Student Center and scroll down to the User Preferences link. You'll need to make sure that the top drop-down area is set to Northern Virginia Community College and adjust the semester to the one applicable for your situation. It is also highly recommended that you register for all of your courses in a given semester and then register for the tuition payment plan at NOVA. If you add classes after setting up your payment plan, you'll run the risk of being dropped from the course for non-payment. By now, you likely already logged into your MyNOVA email account when you first started attending courses at NOVA. However, you'll want to activate your account as soon as possible if you haven't yet done so. It's important for you to get familiar with your secure student email account and that it's the only way that we at NOVA are able to contact you regarding updates to your record and the only method by which your instructors are permitted to discuss personal progress and grade information with you. It is also imperative that you use your MyNOVA email account if you need to ask a question regarding your account so that we are able to verify your identity and keep your information secure. You'll want to make a habit of checking your email frequently for important updates, and we at NOVA suggest that you add the account to your smartphone if at all possible. Please include your student ID number when contacting anyone within NOVA so that we can access your record easily. You might think that you have a unique name, but you'd be surprised at how many students share the same name in our student information system. Including your student ID number again helps us to confirm your identity, and it also aids in reviewing information associated with your inquiry. Your ID number can be found on the back of your NOVA card, as well as in the personal information link within the student information system. Those of you who haven't generated a SAR before will want to pay close attention to this next part. You'll want to log into MyNOVA and then click the SIS button, which then brings you to the screen seen here. On the lower right side of the screen, under the Degree Progress Graduation heading, you'll click on the My Academic Requirements link, which will lead you to a list of requirements for your program of study. Instead of clicking on each of the individual green arrows as shown on the screen, I highly recommend that you click the green PDF button instead so that you get a complete, easy-to-read list of your course requirements. The other method that I just mentioned is an ideal for use in that you may forget to click on an arrow, which will likely lead to inadvertently missing one or more of your program requirements. Once the PDF version of your SAR appears, you'll note that the top of the page shows whether or not all of the requirements for your program have been met. At this point in time, it's highly likely that your report will appear similar to this example student's report in that it shows the requirements of your MEC program of study being satisfied. The reason why the report shows this information is because NOVA is in the process of updating program information for the upcoming semester. Once the updates are complete, your program will resemble what you see here for this example student's General Studies program. Note that the report lists the units required, used, and needed in red. Required indicates the particular number of credits needed to fulfill the particular requirement on the report, and once you complete the requirements for each individual section, you'll then see the used and needed areas adjust accordingly. The helpful thing about the SAR is that it shows in great detail which courses can be used to meet program requirements. Register for and eventually complete the courses shown in red and bold, and both will disappear. While there's a lot of information shown on the SAR, it's important to note that anything that is in bold or red signifies that a requirement is missing. As long as you plan to complete the requirements as shown, you're good to go. However, if you know that you have credits from another college or university that you would like to have transferred into Nova and considered for your program, you'll want to mention it to your faculty advisor. The bottom line is that, again, any requirements shown in bold or red on the SAR mean that you are not yet ready to graduate. I can't stress enough that anything in bold or red on the SAR means that the program requirement hasn't been met. Once you are in your last semester and you've registered for what you believe is your last class, you're going to need to verify your assumption by running your SAR. Many students from semesters past didn't heed this warning and ended up not being able to graduate on time with their peers. Don't let that be you. Stay on top of your requirements by generating the report every semester. Take the report with you when you go to meet with your faculty advisor, and ask your advisor about whether a course substitution is appropriate for your situation. If your advisor believes that a course substitution is suitable, he or she will submit the request directly to the CRO or College Records Office. Ultimately, the CRO uses the same report to determine program completion and subsequently award your degree. If the requirements listed on the SAR are not complete, the CRO cannot award your certificate or degree, and you are at risk of not graduating on time. If you need additional information regarding how to access the SAR, go to the NOVA website and search the term Student Advisement Report. Speaking of the CRO, I'd like to pass along that they are behind-the-scenes operation that is responsible for several functions at NOVA, including the release of official transcripts, posting credit to students' records, and awarding certificates and degrees. By no means is this an all-inclusive list, but it is important to note that they process many requests in support of you, the student. They can be reached by email only, and they strive to answer all questions within 24 to 48 hours. Again, you'll want to contact them using your MyNova email account, and be sure to include your student ID number. As you can see, the CRO processes course substitutions as well. However, if your faculty advisor submits one on your behalf, you'll need to check your SAR for updates or follow up with your advisor on the status of the request. A large part of what the CRO does each day is comprised of processing official transcripts from NOVA to the external institution of your choosing. Electronic transcripts are $10, hard copies are $15, and they are sent out through NOVA's partnership with Parchment, a well-known transcript services company. You're going to want to plan ahead to have your transcripts sent out on your behalf, as we are unable to produce official transcripts on campus. Additionally, please make sure that you verify information on your student record before placing your transcript order online. We've had situations in the past where students thought that their degree was already listed because they walked across the stage for graduation and never verified the information on their individual records. Unfortunately for them, they had to pay more than once to have their transcripts sent out in preparation for board exams. I've also encountered a few students that have inadvertently misspelled their name on their record when applying to NOVA and faced obstacles when attempting to secure employment. To prevent this from happening to you, please check your SAR or unofficial transcript to make sure that your name is accurate and that your certificate or degree is visible on your account before ordering your official transcript. To order your transcript, search key term official transcript on NOVA's website. One of the most important things to remember for graduation is the need to meet the application deadline for the semester in which you plan to graduate. There are a few misconceptions surrounding graduation, some of which include rumors that a graduation application can't be submitted until a course substitution has been processed, or that there is a need to submit a graduation application in order to find out which classes are still needed to complete a program at NOVA. These stories simply aren't true. Even if a course substitution is pending, it's best to submit that graduation application to meet the established application deadline for the semester. Also, please don't submit a graduation application to find out which courses are still needed to finish your program, as it unnecessarily wastes yours as well as the CRO's time, since you can get the information directly from the SAR within seconds. As you can see here, there's quite a bit of time allotted for graduation applications to be submitted online through your student center. The application automatically changes to the next semester after the posted deadline passes. For example, if you plan to graduate in spring 2020, as the majority of you here today plan to do, you would have between October 2nd, 2019 to March 1st, 2020 to apply for graduation. If you were to wait until March 2nd, 2020 to apply, Your application would then roll over to become a summer 2020 application. This in turn can have an adverse effect on your ability to take your board exam and possibly harm future job prospects. We in Student Services highly suggest that you add a reminder to your smartphone or to your personal calendar today so that you meet your all-important graduation deadline. When you're ready to graduate, step-by-step instructions are available online. Just search Apply for Graduation. To recap, please make sure to check your MyNova student email account on a regular basis and to plan ahead, allowing at least 10 business days for requests to be processed in Student Services. Make sure to generate your SAR at least once each semester and take a copy of it with you in preparation for meetings with your faculty advisor. Remember that any requirement in bold or red means that you're not ready to graduate and that you should discuss missing courses with your advisor each semester that you meet with him or her. Also, please note that if you don't have a faculty advisor assigned to you just yet, please remain patient. Your academic department will most likely send you an update by the end of the upcoming fall semester. Also, remember that all official transcripts are to be requested online and that you need to verify the information on your record before having it sent out on your behalf. Add a reminder to your device or calendar to make sure that you meet your deadline for graduation. And finally, remain resourceful using the NOVA website to get forms and other important information necessary for your success at NOVA. Again, congratulations on your acceptance into your program of study. All of us in Student Services and Enrollment Services wish you all the best in your studies at the Medical Education Campus, and we hope this information helps to get you better prepared for your studies. If you have any questions, please ask the Enrollment Services team members now, or email MEC Counselor, or ask the CRO using the email addresses shown here.